What is up, guys? Welcome to the Dad Bod Sports Pod, where we're actually going to be doing an actual podcast this time instead of just picks. We've been asked a lot to get back on the podcast game, so this will be season number 3, episode number 1. Before we start off, we're going to give a bunch of shout-outs. We're going to let Scotty start off. He's got a special shout-out and some thanks to give.
Yeah, first of all, thank you to Kellen Dunham from Butler Basketball for doing a short interview with us. Super relaxed guy. It was a nice conversation. We talked for about 20 minutes before we actually recorded, talking about his family life and everything. Great guy. One of the dudes I really loved watching, just a pure shooter. The dude could hoop, and he's a funny guy. We had a great time talking. So thank you, Kellen. Second, Josh Powell, 2-time NBA champion. He won the last 2 with Kobe Bryant. Came on the podcast. One of the nicest humans I have ever spoken to. That guy was a joy to talk to. Straight up, I would give the shirt off my back to that guy any day. He invited us to his charity gala. We can't make it, unfortunately. We're going to donate. If you guys want to donate also, we can get you a link to donate to his charity. Like I said, a great human being who's doing a great thing, and we want to help as much as we can. So thank you, Josh, for the interview. It was amazing. I got another one coming up this week. I'm not going to say who, but it's one of my favorite college basketball players of all time, and I am pumped. One last shout out that I want to give. I'm a retro basketball fan. College basketball is my passion. 19-9, 1-9, and then the word 9. These guys do retro basketball shorts for college. They do sweatshirts, they do hoodies, they do it all. But the basketball shorts, I can't get enough of. I can go back and I can get my 2000 Michigan State Spartan national champion shorts on there. And they're actually in the mail. They're coming in the mail right now. 96 Georgetown, Iverson, they're on their way. So I'm super pumped. You know how I am with my retro basketball. I'm a nerd. I love it. I'll show you what I got on right now. But yeah, it's 1-9, word 9. This is the pair that I wore today. So we've got the 2000 Butler Bulldogs, Lavelle Jordan, Coach Billy Collier. This team was nasty. They lost to Florida, who was the eventual runner-up, who lost to my Spartans. But you can get these shorts. You can get so many different team shorts. I've got 2003 Missouri Tigers coming in. Kareem Rush. You remember Kareem Rush?
I do.
Oh, man. Like sexy basketball shorts. Oh, man. But 1-9 and then the word 9. They have a code, new teammate 10, and you can save 10% on your order. So please go check it out. Buy as much as you can. Buy me something. 19-9, if you see this, I need the 2001 Arizona Wildcats shorts. Gilbert Arenas, Jason Gardner, swagged out, lost to overrated Duke. We all know that, but I need those shorts. You put them on the website, I'll buy them right now. But you're up.
Yeah, so I just want to give a couple of different shout outs. First of all, we grew our team, basically, is a way to say it. Mitch, Austin, David, Mark,
With a C.
Chris, Ant. I just want to give you guys a quick shout out, let you guys know we appreciate you guys wanting to be a part of the Dadbot brand that we're trying to build and make big. You guys will be on podcast soon enough, so everyone watching this will be able to see them soon enough. They're on the page, by the way. The page is in the description below. We have 182,000 people on there. We're trying to get more for all different kinds of sports and things of that nature. We got a bunch of things, interviews and podcast and things with those guys and new logo thanks to Mitch. So there's a lot of things cooking with us right now. So just hang with us if you're watching this. And I know a lot of people have been asking us, hey, when's the podcast coming out? When's the podcast coming out? We've been doing picks and other stuff, because we've been preoccupied trying to grow the brand. But the podcasts are back for those that have literally been asking. Because when I say people have been asking, trust me, there are people ask me regularly, like, hey, when I drive to work, I like listening to your guys' podcast. Make a podcast. Here you go. This is for you guys. So we're going to start off with our NFL picks just to get those out of the way, and then we'll just talk some other sports. And then we'll try to make this, 30 minutes, quick as possible, just so that you can listen to the whole thing and not have to, drive into a tree or something like that. But we're going to start off with our picks. The Cowboys and the Saints are playing right now. It is 20-10 Cowboys, so we're not going to be picking that game. I would have taken the Cowboys anyway. I'm sure Scotty would as well. Colts and Texans.
I'm going to take the Colts. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going to take the Colts 21-10. I think that they cool down, which, by the way, on our picks last week, I said Jonathan Taylor would not break 100 yards. And guess what? He did not break 100 yards last week.
Yeah, Colts should win this game going away, something like 31-14. Even though Taylor didn't have over 100 yards, he did have over 100 yards combined, and he is still a beast. Like, when they actually fed him the ball at the end of that game, he tore it apart in the last drive. When they came back and tied the game, when it was 31-24, he came back and tied at 31-31. He deserves some respect for the MVP. He's not going to get it because he's a running back, but he needs to be mentioned in the MVP talks. But yeah, 31-14 in favor of the Colts. Vikings at Lions.
I think this is also going to be fairly low scoring. Everyone's taking the Lions as a sleeper pick. I don't see it. I'm a Lions fan. I don't see it. I'm going to take the Vikings 26, the Lions 13. If you are not starting Vikings, guys, you're crazy for fantasy. Even though I only have them scoring 26, that's probably the low ball of it. So start your Vikings players.
I feel so bad. I'm a Jets fan. So when I say this, it's sad. I feel so bad for the Lions. They get screwed, whether it's by themselves or the referees or by circumstances or by 65-yard field goals by Justin Tucker or Hail Marys by Aaron. They get screwed so damn much. And I feel so bad for their fans because it's like, when do they get a break? It's going to come. Stay true, Lions fans. I know you guys aren't going nowhere. If you haven't went away now, you're going to be there till the end. So they'll get their time. This ain't that game. I think the Vikings score like 34 points and the Lions score 10. I think it's gonna be 34-10. Maybe your boy Cousins can put together 3-4 touchdowns this game. He's been like, coming around a little bit where he's getting like 250 yards now, 2-3 touchdowns. Maybe he starts building here. Vikings should make the playoffs. They're in a spot now. They should continue to roll along and make the playoffs. So we'll go 34-10 Vikings. Giants at Dolphins.
This game is not a game that people want to watch. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I believe they said Daniel Jones is hurt, which might help the Giants, honestly. He sucks. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins 24, the Giants 22. I don't have a lot on this game because we don't know who's playing and who's not playing.
The Dolphins have actually won 4 games in a row. They're hot. They're an actual, the defense that everyone was talking about they're going to have is coming together a little bit. Tua is looking decent, which I've been backing Tua since day one, saying he's an actual decent quarterback. He can be a game manager or he can put some special stats up once in a while. He's not a guy that's going to lose you many games. It's just the fact that the Dolphins just aren't very good right now in total, but they're getting there. They're getting there. The Giants are coming off of a win against Carolina. It wasn't that impressive. Carolina's just trash. No, actually, I'm sorry. They faced what did the Giants play last week? Whoever they faced.
The Eagles.
It was the Eagles, right? Yeah. So the Giants aren't even coming off of a win like I thought they were. The Dolphins are going to.
The Giants won.
They did beat the Eagles. That's right. Okay, so the Giants are. We're not the smartest people. The Giants are coming off of a win. The Dolphins are coming off of 4 wins. Barkley's playing. Galladay's playing. Sterling Shepard might be playing for the Giants. I think it'll be a better game than people think because the Giants are only 1 game out of a playoff spot, by the way. As stupid and crazy as it sounds, because it's 5-6 the last spot, they're 4-7, so they're 1 game out. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, but this game has a little bit more interest than I think is going to be out there in the public. I'm going to go Dolphins, getting to 5 wins in a row and winning this game 27-24. I expect Barkley to have a decent game, though, because he should be healthy. And if he gets hurt or he doesn't have a good game this week, it's time for the Giants to let this dude go because he's just nothing but trouble for a running back. Buccaneers at Falcons.
Buccaneers are going to win this game. I think the Falcons will keep it somewhat close for most of the game, and then the Buccaneers will pull away. Give me the Buccaneers 33, Falcons 23.
I'm going to go Bucks 31, Falcons 24. Bucks should – I know Antonio Brown is a clown or whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. But the Buccaneers are the better team. I'm going to say they win because they're the better team. There's not much other logic needed other than that. Brady is trying to win that MVP because if he wins the MVP this year, there's not going to be much anybody can say about him ever. If he wins the MVP this year and even makes a Super Bowl or something like that, the Brady haters are not going to have much to say, except for me, because I will always hate him till the day I die. And no matter what he does, it won't impress me. But for everyone else that's a normal person, Brady is trying to, shut people up this year, like finally, once and for all, which he shouldn't have to because his stats are, I mean, they're amazing. I can't lie about it. Although, for reasons that I won't talk about, I still hate him. Eagles at Jets.
I'm going to take the Eagles bouncing back and winning pretty comfortably. I think Jalen Hurts will ball out this week. He should ball out. Give me the Eagles 28, the Jets 17. Probably not going to be a fun game to watch either, honestly. So 28-17 Eagles.
The New York Jets have never, in the history of their franchise, beaten the Eagles. We are 0-9 against them. 0-9. First, a franchise that's nothing really to brag about in Philly, but they are the better team. The Jets are not a very good team. The Eagles should destroy the Jets, but they won't. I am going with the New York Jets in the upset of the week, 27-24. Zach Wilson has 3 passing touchdowns, 1 to Crowder, 2 to Moore. Moore is a beast. If he gets the chance to play and he gets the passes that he should get, Moore is going to be a star in this league. Not superstar, star. 27-24, New York Jets. Wilson, please don't let me down. You will. Cardinals at Bears. I think Kyler Murray's back. He is
I
practicing.
think Murray and Hopkins are both back. I'm going to take the Cardinals, and it's in Chicago, and it's going to be cold. Pretty cold down here. I'm going to take the Cardinals to beat them pretty handily. I'll take the Cardinals 36, Bears 16. I think Murray's going to come out, and people are going to throw him right back in the MVP race. I think he's going to have that type of game.
He has to. Just to show, like, hey, I'm ready. I can play. And once we make the playoffs, because they're going to make the playoffs, he just has to start proving that he's that guy that, hey, you remember me? I'm Kyler Murray. I was throwing 3 touchdowns and throwing for 250 and rushing for 80 every single game before I got hurt. I'm back. So he needs to do that this game. The Bears are always going to be a defense that, even when they lose, they still look okay. You know what I mean? Like, the Bears defense is nothing to scoff at ever, in my opinion. But the Cardinals should beat them, even with Murray coming back and being, maybe not 100%. I'm going to go Cardinals 27, Bears 14. Chargers, Bengals in Cincy.
This is the game of the week. This is the 2 QBs from last year that everyone loved. Herbert played like shit last week after playing amazing the week before, meaning he's going to play amazing this week. We know that. Every other week, the dude goes from fucking Aaron Rodgers to Nathan Peterman. I hate Justin Herbert with a passion now because he's my fantasy quarterback. But I'm taking Cincy. I think both QBs have a great game. I think this will be high scoring. This is my fantasy game of the week. I'm going to go Bengals 38, Chargers 34. And I'm going to say T. Higgins has a day. 3 receiving touchdowns.
Whew. This is a tough game.
It's a good game.
Man, there is a lot of fantasy implications, like you said, in this game. Both quarterbacks, the 2 big draft picks from the year before that are, they've been. When you mention Joe Burrow's name, Herbert's name is next, or vice versa. These 2 dudes want to play well versus each other. This is going to be high scoring. I'm going to go 34 Bengals, 31 Chargers. I'm going to go with the Bengals here. I think the Bengals are a better team overall, which I did not think I would say in the beginning of the year. Shout out to the Bengals for playing well and for me thinking they're going to win this game. I think Herbert outplays Burrow in terms of stats, but I think Burrow outplays Herbert in terms of, like, playing the game smart, giving it to his running back, giving it to Mixon more, playing situational ball better and not chucking it deep for 45 yards when you don't have to and throw an interception or something like that. So I'm going to go 34-31 in favor of Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Jaguars at Rams.
The Rams are going to bounce back this week, and I feel bad for the Jaguars for what the Rams are going to do to them. I'm going to take the Rams 43, the Jaguars 17. Stafford will put himself back in the MVP race. Cooper Kupp is going to feast, and I mean feast. 43-17. That's what I'm going with.
Rams fans and people who bet the Rams to, do decent in the playoffs and possibly win the Super Bowl are praying that you're correct, because the Rams look like dog shit the last couple since they've got Von Miller and Odell Beckham. They're 0-3. They do not look like a good team right now. Stafford's looking like Lion Stafford and not the good one with Calvin Johnson. I don't know what's going on with the Rams lately. Henderson is not playing. Sonny Michel is going to be the starting running back this week. They better pray they win this game. I'm going to pick them to win this game, but I think it's going to be close. I think the Rams are possibly start picking it up because they don't really have a choice, and they're just too good not to. So I'm going to go Rams 31, Jaguars 21. But again, if the Rams even show slight signs of just still being bad this week, it's time to worry. It'll be time to worry, especially when you get the Cardinals in your division. You're going to get a tough matchup if you keep falling down in the wild card. The Rams got to step up the weeks.
I think if you get in the playoffs, you have a chance in the NFL. I don't think worry is the term, unless they're at risk of falling out of the playoff race. Also, Stafford was better without Calvin Johnson. Fun fact. Look at the numbers.
Okay, I'm not taking your Lions fan. I'll take your word for it. But Washington at Raiders.
I'm not picking the Raiders at all this year, so I'm going to keep that trend. Washington's in the wild card hunt now. I think they're in the playoffs as of right now. I'm going to take Washington to win this game, and I'm going to say Scary Terry balls out. I think Washington's going to win. I think it'll be a close game. 26-23, game-winning field goal.
I'm going to go with the Raiders. I don't know why. Every time I pick the Raiders, they lose. So let's see if we can continue that trend. I'm going to go Raiders 27, Washington 26. I'm also going to go game-winning field goal, but by Carlson on the other side. But I do think a fantasy sleeper, and not really a sleeper. If you know about him, you know about him. But I think Logan Thomas, the tight end for Washington, who just came back last week, who got robbed of a touchdown at the end of the game last week, is going to get a touchdown or two in this game. So that is my fantasy sleeper of the entire week right there. Also, the tight end for the Raiders, the dude that's filling in for Waller. What's his name?
Fabian Moreau.
He's not just as good as Waller, but he can put up Waller-type numbers if Carr gets.
He's a good fill-in. He's a good fill-in.
Ravens at Steelers.
Close. Not close. Ravens 36, Steelers 17. Lamar Jackson dominates. The Steelers, after what we saw last week, write them off. 100% write them off.
See, I'd love to just agree with you, but
you're a Steelers fan.
Dominate, because last week versus the Cleveland Browns, he looked disgusting. I've never seen him play that bad before. He was awful. Now the Browns are defense to reckon with. You know what I mean? I don't think the Steelers are as good at defense as them. But this is in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh and Baltimore thing is always close, no matter what teams there are, no matter what year it is. The Ravens Steelers games are always a must watch. I think Najee Harris has himself an okay game, not as good as usual. But the sleeper in this game I'm going with is Chase Claypool. I think Chase Claypool has a big game. And I know saying that with Big Ben this year is taboo or whatever, but I think he has a big game. This is going to be a close game. I'm going to go Ravens 28, Steelers 24. I couldn't do it. I say the Ravens win. I wanted to pick the Steelers, but the Ravens are better. I'm just going to go with the better team here. But again, this is going to be a close game. It has to be. It's a divisional game. It's always close with these two teams. I think it remains the same. 49ers at Seattle. Another same kind of thing.
I'm going to take this one's tough. San Francisco's playing well as of late. It's a division game. I'm going to take Seattle. I'm going to take Russell Wilson getting a win this week. I think you'll have a solid game. Nothing amazing. It'll be his best game since coming back, probably. I'll take Seattle to win 23-20.
I'm taking the 49ers. I need the Seahawks to lose every game, so I'm just going to pick it that way. Even if this wasn't a biased pick, I'd still pick the 49ers because the Seahawks are just not good. They're not. Russell Wilson is still, Russell Wilson still Russell Wilson, but I don't think he wants to be there, like we said last week. And again, he proved it. He just looks like not Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? This is not Russell Wilson that we know. So I'm going to go 49ers 24, Seahawks 17. It'll be a close game, but I'll take the 49ers. Broncos at Chiefs. Debo is out, by the way.
Yeah, Debo is out for San Fran. So I think the Chiefs win. I think this will be closer than a lot of people think against the Broncos. Yeah. I think Mahomes still has a solid game. He's going to slowly creep back into the MVP race. We know it. So give me Mahomes, or not Mahomes. Give me the Chiefs 31, the Broncos 23.
Chiefs are such a good team. Last week I crapped on the Broncos and said they're in the middle where you don't know what they really
I told you they were going to win and Herbert was going to suck.
Really? And then they just put that performance on last week. I'm still going to go with the Chiefs, though. The Chiefs are they're very good. I think Mahomes throws 2 or 3 touchdowns, agreed. And I think the Chiefs win 31, Broncos 21. Bills at Patriots. I'm sorry, Patriots at Bills. This is the Monday night game.
So I think a lot of people are jumping on the Patriots, and rightfully so. They look good. Mac Jones looks solid. Just a solid team overall. And all year I thought the Patriots just weren't a good team, but they're playing very well. Bills, getting the most out of these guys. I'm going to go Buffalo. I'll go the Bills 27, the Patriots 23. But I think the Bills get a game-winning drive to win this.
I've been saying for 4 or 5 weeks that the Patriots are a team to look out for just because they play the game the right way under Bill Belichick. They don't turn the ball over. They have a game-managing to decent quarterback in Mac Jones. No matter who their running back is, whether it's Harris or whoever it is, they run the ball hard, they run the ball well, and they won't fumble the ball while running. And their defense is just amazing. So with that being said, in Buffalo was expected to run away with this division. I'm going to go with the Bills and Josh Allen having himself a pretty good game. I'm going to go close to your score. I'm going to go 27-20 in favor of the Bills. But those are our picks for the week, for the NFL week. You'll see the record up to this point between me and Scotty right here. And it's pretty close. I know that much. I don't know it offhand, but it's really close. It's between 1 or 2, points between us because we've been picking evenly pretty much all year. I started off hot. Then Scotty came on a little bit later because I started picking underdogs like crazy just because people said I was picking too many favorites. So I had to shut him up, and then it cost me points. But yeah, so those are our picks. Now let's talk some other sports. Let's get to NBA. We haven't really talked NBA at all for months since the season started. Give us some thoughts on what's going on in the NBA now. Do you like, the pace of play and what's happening with the foul calls, that the Trae Young thing is not really a thing anymore? Or is it? LeBron James and getting people kicked out of arenas, and there's just a lot going on that we haven't really talked about. So
yeah,
start it up.
So I do like the foul call stuff. We are seeing games slow down a little bit. There's actual defense being played again. The only issue is we know come playoff time, it's going to change back. They're going to, if superstars are crying in the playoffs, they're going to get calls. That's how it has to go. It's simple as that. Trae Young is still playing well, even though he's not getting all the calls. Damian Lillard has been affected by it big time. James Harden, Joel Embiid. A lot of these guys that you didn't expect to go downhill that much because they're very skilled, their game has dropped off quite a bit this year. So it's fun. Your Knicks and my Sixers are both not looking great. Sixers have been banged up, and the whole Ben Simmons drama. I think they've missed Embiid and Harris for like 7 games, and I think they've won 1 game without both of them. So it's rough. They should turn it around a little bit. I don't expect a lot out of them this year, honestly, until they either get Simmons back or move him, because you're missing an all defense player and replacing him with nobody. Tyrese Maxey is stepping in, but what I mean by that is Simmons is still not there. You're missing a big piece from last year, and until he's back or is replaced by someone that you get value from, there's a hole there. Simple as that. Maxey is balling out though. Maxey is nasty. I told you about him draft night that I wanted Maxey so bad and we got him. Also, Miles Bridges for Charlotte. Holy shit. This dude's a baller. He's a
Did you
Michigan
see
State
what
guy.
happened
He's
at the
what?
end of who were they playing? I forgot. Oh, it was the Bucks. It was the Bucks versus the Hornets, right? And LaMelo Ball makes a game-tying 3, makes it 105-105 with like 3 seconds left. Giannis goes the other way and kind of travels to take the lead with like half of a second left in the game. And then Bridges comes up from like half court and heaves it. But it was a really nice shot, and it rimmed out like at the last second. It was one of the craziest endings I've ever seen. So yeah, you mentioned Miles Bridges. I saw him almost make a game-winning half-court shot with like a half a second left, and it was this close to going in.
He's a beast. He really is. One of the best dunkers I've ever seen. He flies. Darius Garland has been stepping up a lot. The Cavaliers, they have their future piece in Evan Mobley. That dude is Anthony Davis 2.0. He's going to be sick. Cade Cunningham struggling early. Going to a bad team sucks. You're used to being the best guy on an okay team playing against college kids. Then you come into the NBA where you're the best guy on a bad team going against NBA players. It's a big change. Jalen Green is struggling also. Scotty Barnes, which I know you liked Barnes a lot. Barnes is playing. He looks nice. Suggs is struggling. But Cole Anthony for Orlando is looking nice. He's looking real nice. So you got a lot of young guys that are taking a nice step forward. A lot of guys in the race for most improved player of the year. But the big topic right now, other than the whole LeBron stuff, which we're not getting into any of the Cantor stuff either. We're not talking about that. Zion Williamson. What is this dude's deal?
I don't know. Stop eating, bro. You're too good for
Well,
that.
stop eating. He clearly doesn't want to be in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's every player now, right? Like every player is like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. And they're all just being But you go ahead. Finish your point.
I've been saying this for since he probably for the last Dak just threw a pick. The last little bit, I think we'll see Zion Williams traded to the Charlotte Hornets for Miles Bridges, Terry Rozier. They'll get a mix of guys. Because if you're Zion, you're going to play near home in Charlotte. You're a Jordan Brand athlete, and who owns the Hornets?
Jordan.
Michael Jordan. A duo that the NBA can market amazing, super amazing. I think Zion will be a Charlotte Hornet either by the trade deadline or next offseason.
I'm holding out hope he comes to New York, man. I'm holding out hope. I remember draft night when we didn't get the number 1 pick. I was just broken because I knew we were going to take RJ. And no offense to RJ, he's just not. He's not a New Yorker. He's not a New York type, and he's just not what we need.
He's too nice. He's too nice for New York.
Yeah, right. He's Canadian, so he's got that nice, calm. We can't have that. Not only that, he's a great player, but he's not what we need. When you take when you've been so bad for so long, you need a LeBron James out of high school or whatever that's just going to come out and automatically put up 20 points a game and just light up the. RJ is the kind of guy that's going to get you 13, 14, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, which is great, but we need another superstar. We don't need a 4th player. And even now, he's benched. He got benched tonight because he's been awful the last 5 games, and we've lost 4 to 5. it's a problem. So I want Zion in New York so bad. I know he wants to be at MSG if he doesn't want to be in Charlotte or wherever else he wants to go. We need to make a big offer for him. I mean, maybe pairing RJ and Zion together to Duke guys, maybe it'll bring some spark. But I don't know what the hell. Like Zion is too good of a player to be this way. I didn't think he was gonna like not want to get in shape or not just like play out the way you're supposed to. Like I didn't know he was that type of guy. It's kind of upsetting because I had really high hopes for a guy like Zion. I thought he was, he just seemed like I don't know, his head was put on right. You know what I mean? Like he seemed like the kind of guy that was like, all right, I'm
He's a
gonna
humble
play.
guy.
Yeah, he was gonna be like, listen, I'm blessed to be in the NBA. I'm gonna play where I'm gonna play until it's time to do something else. And then he showed such great flash, and then he's like, I'd rather eat McDonald's than be in shape and be here. Like it's upsetting. But John Morant, I don't know if he's still hurt or not, but he's been like the same kind of injury for the last 2 years, and it's like, is he the next Derrick Rose? Is he just putting his body out there too much in today's game? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to.
You're not supposed to be that athletic. Is the thing.
Right,
You know
and
what I
he's
mean? Like,
all of it, every
he's a
play.
freak, and he puts his body on the line. With him, it's minor injuries, but the thing is, when you have so many minor injuries, it does add up. The thing though, every time he comes back just as good. It's just, in a month, is he going to be out for another 2 weeks? I think he's supposed to be back next week. But even with him being out, this just happened tonight. The Memphis Grizzlies just broke the record against the Thunder. They won by like 73 points.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Wow.
Are the Thunder that bad?
Thunder are bad. When your best player is Josh Giddey, the Australian rookie who's too busy on TikTok, like Luens Dort is your second, or I guess they got SGA. SGA is a beast, but you're not building a team around SGA. With all those picks, they don't give a shit about right now. Giddey and SGA are their guys of the future. That the rest of that team,
they've got a little bit of building pieces, but like you said, they're looking towards those draft picks to build even more.
Yeah. I think what we could see is they got the young point guard, the young shooting guard. We could see them move a lot of those picks to a team that's ready to blow it up. Let's say like Boston. Boston loves getting picks and then not doing anything with them.
For Brown, maybe?
For Jaylen Brown. Maybe Tatum. Like, we don't know who they want to keep. They can't keep both because they do not play well together. So that's a possibility. Karl Anthony Towns would be a possibility. By the way, Anthony Edwards.
Beast.
I am taking him over LaMelo Ball, and I was so hard on him in draft night. That dude is a killer.
Yes, he's a beast.
That dude's highlight reel is nasty, and he's actually a great personality. There was an interview with him where the lady was like, like, you were really good at football. What if we needed someone to hit a home run? And he said, sweetie, if you're in a competition and you need to win, call. And she was like, what? I don't know why she said it. But she was like, what about swimming? And I was like,
yeah, relax.
And he was like, call me. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's really funny. He's a great character. It sucks he's in Minnesota because Minnesota sucks. But they've got a bright future with him.
Minnesota got to 500. They won 5 games in a row. They got to 500. They're building there. I don't think Minnesota's going to be a playoff team, but they've got something there. Instead of worrying about trading Karl Anthony Towns or anything like that, maybe build on it and see if you can go for it. You know what I mean? Because the problem is the West is so top heavy.
Yeah, trade D'Lo. You got to trade D'Lo. He's not a point guard that's playing point guard, and that's
why does no one want him? Why is every team he goes to they just get rid of him?
Because all he does is volume shoot. He's supposed to be a point guard. He doesn't pass well.
There's a team out there like the Knicks that could use a volume shooter that doesn't mind shooting and scoring the basketball.
You got
Kemba. Don't even get me started.
But the thing with D'Angelo and so D'Angelo Russell at Ohio State was one of the best passers I've ever seen in college. Like nasty passing. Comes to the NBA and he just wants to score because that's how the NBA is. That's taking away from Cat and taking away from Edwards a lot. If I'm them, you got to move D'Angelo for sure. The thing is, I don't know what kind of team would want him. Utah, maybe. But what does Utah have to give up? Not much. If you're the Spurs, you could use him in a heartbeat, but he's not a San Antonio type player. It's tough. Oh, Taysom Hill just threw a pick. But
was it to my boy Smith, Traquan Smith? I think I put him in a FanDuel.
no, he threw a pick.
No, I know. I'm saying, was he trying to throw it to Smith?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see who was who. I just saw Kazi get the pick. But yeah, so Minnesota has a lot of work to do to be a legit threat. But how cool was it to see Edwards call out Butler for being a fake tough guy?
Oh yeah, that was
that.
Everybody calls out Butler. Butler always is the first one to jump. I'm not saying Butler's a pawn grave. Like, no, Butler could probably fight, but like, there's certain times where like you can't always be that guy that always wants to jump because it makes you look weaker. The guy that like is kind of quiet, but then when stuff like jumps off, he gets in there and just like about to start trouble. That's the guy you should be scared of.
Nene.
Oh yeah, you don't want to mess with Nene.
Oh dude, Nene would kill everyone on the court.
Everybody.
He's a monster. But yeah, so I forgot what we were talking about, honestly, right there. What's that?
Oh no, you were talking about how he called out
Butler and Edwards. So Butler always talks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he can back it up. No, everyone calls out Butler, but they wait. Edwards on the court stood his ground. And I was like, fuck yeah. This dude has the mindset. Anthony Edwards will be a top 5 player in 4 years.
I mean, you're going to have a couple guys phasing out. Like, LeBron's going to be phasing out by that time.
Kevin Durant, Steph Curry.
Luka will still be there, obviously, or should be.
Your top. Let's just do this. Give me your top 5 players in 5 years. I think Dak just threw a pick.
What is going on in that game? What a terrible game.
Top 5 players in 5 years. This is mine. I think Giannis will be one because he's 26 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So at 31, with his size, athleticism, he can still be great. I'm going to go Luka 2. Ja Morant 3. I'm going to go Tatum 4. And then at 5, it's where it gets sticky. It's going to be either Mitchell, Trae Young, or Anthony Edwards.
I have Trae Young as my 3. I have the same top 2 as you, but I've got Luka number 1. I think because he's on pace to be the highest scoring player in the history of the league. So I'm going to put him 1 until he proves that he's not going to score that many points, which is not going to happen in today's NBA. 2, I'm going to go Giannis. He's just too good defensively and offensively not to be up there. I had 3, Trae Young, because I was crapping on Trae Young last year. Obviously, I'm a Knicks fan. So when he was destroying us in the playoffs last year and telling us to shut up with his little lollipop head with a piece of hair on it, yeah, I was crapping on him. And like all he does is throw himself into people. Well, he's not able to do that this year, and he's still balling the same exact way. So he's proven to me he's a baller. I'm going to put him at number 3. Number 4, call this biased as hell. I got faith in Zygon. I got faith in Zygon, man. He's too good. Just play. If he plays, I don't care what team is on. As long as he's healthy and he's playing, he's going to be a top 5 in 5. I can't see any other way. I can't see it unless he's hurt. It's the only way. There's no other way.
And that's more common than not.
I'm just saying, if I'm going based on the fact that if he plays, like, even if he plays 60 games a year, I'm still putting him in the top 5. And then at number 5, is it Edwards? Man, I would love to put Edwards there. I think Morant. I'm still going Ja, man. Ja's too good. I'm gonna go Ja again, barring that he doesn't kill himself running to the rim every time he gets a chance. Like, I don't want to tell you not to be yourself, because if you're not yourself, then you're not Ja Morant. If you tell him, hey, don't go full speed all the time, you're gonna get hurt, then you're not who you were. But barring super injuries and being the next Derrick Rose, I'm gonna go Ja Morant with 5, and then Carson Edwards right on the bubble for sure.
Anthony Edwards.
You know me with first names. Awful.
Yeah, he's nasty for sure. But yeah, for NBA, there's not much else to really go over. We went over the
Who's
rookies.
before we go to just give me who you think is gonna, as of right now, who would you pick to be in the finals? Shout out to Golden State and the Suns, by the way. I didn't think they were going to be this good, either of them. Even though the Suns are, defending Western Conference champions. So win 17 games in a row, beat the Golden State Warriors in a big game. I mean, props to them. I still don't think they're going to win the championship, but I just want to mention their 17 wins because we've got Ant and other people that'll just be like, how come the Suns don't get no love? Here's your love. There you go.
So let me go on a tiny, I'll make this quick.
Okay.
Golden State looks very good. They are back on that same bullshit they were running in 2015 or 2014 or whatever. Their offense is composed around illegal screens, and it's not being called. And it is frustrating to watch them because you watch teams like they're game planning for it, and they're legitimately trying to lock them up. They're like they know they have to play defense on Golden State to win. There is nothing you can do if the ref does not call moving screens.
Right.
It's such an advantage for them. Trayvon Diggs just got a pick. But it's such an advantage for Golden State when you have shooters and you're allowed to have moving screens. Your defenders can't sag off because if they sag off, they get the shot. If they play too tight, you've got the pick and roll right there. Please call moving screens. You're making kids watching these games are like, oh, I can do that. And it pisses me off. It's ruining the game. Ran over. So if we're picking our championship right now, if they're going to let Golden State play this way, I think Golden State goes to the finals. The Lakers will turn it around. This is just like how Miami started when they got LeBron James. We'll see Lakers and Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. I can almost guarantee that. I'll take the Warriors to go to the finals. I don't know. Can the Warriors stop? Is Anthony Davis going to be healthy, first of all? But who do the Warriors have to stop Anthony Davis and Westbrook and LeBron?
You got Green. That's about all I can say right now.
Right. Klay
He'll
Thompson
stop-
will be back,
he'll-
but he won't be. Klay Thompson will not be at speed. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't tear your Achilles twice or whatever and come back from that. He'll be a shooter.
He doesn't have to move much.
He'll be Duncan Robinson. He'll be Duncan Robinson when he comes back.
Yeah.
So, actually, I'm going to go to the Lakers. And in the East, I don't want to take the Nets just because I hate what they do, but they're good. And we know they're going to be good when the time matters. I'll take the Bucks in the East. Middleton hasn't played much. Brooke Lopez, I believe, is out indefinitely. He had surgery. Drew Holiday, I don't know how much he's played this year either. I think he's missed a few. I'll go Lakers, Bucks. I think the Bucks are the better team, honestly. But I think we'll see the bigger market get more calls.
I'm not going with the Warriors, and I'm not going with the Lakers out of the West this year. And I'm not going with the Utah Jazz, man. I think this is the year they are playing, once again, absolutely great basketball. I love to watch a team like the Jazz play. You know why? Because it's old school basketball with a little. They do shoot the more 3-pointers than any team in the league, so it's not totally old school. But they play great defense. They do move the ball, but it's not moving the ball to get a layup. It's moving the ball to shoot a three. But they're still moving the ball one way or the other. They get back on defense quicker than any team in the league. They're a very good team. I think finally basketball is going to beat stars. And I've been wanting to see that for so long. I'm praying that it happens. Utah Jazz, Western Conference champions. Out of the East, man, this is, I'm not picking the Nets. I'm just not doing it. Until I see Kyrie Irving needs to play for the Nets to make the finals. If Kyrie Irving doesn't play, I don't have, because who's their point guard right now? I know like Harden's running the point a little bit here and there, and they got
Bro, Patty Mills is balling out.
Patty Mills is balling out, but I'm not picking Patty Mills to. Did he win the championship when he was with the Spurs?
I believe so.
As the point guard, or was he
was a back? I think he was the backup, but he was legit playing.
Like if Kyrie
he's a great role player.
Right. If Kyrie Irving is there and his head is on right, I'm gonna take the Nets. But because he's not there yet, I don't even know if there's no clear anything in the East right now, right? Like
there's nothing.
Miami was supposed to be this great team, and they're doing okay, but they're not playing the way.
Bam Adebayo's out indefinitely now too.
All right.
Is it Chicago versus Utah?
I
Is it
swear to
98?
God I was going to say that. I swear. I was going to throw the Bulls out there and say, you know what? The hell with that. Let's go the Chicago Bulls. I'm going to go with – this wouldn't even be – yes, it would be. I'm going to go with the super upset finals, Chicago Bulls, Utah Jazz, the old Jordan versus Stockton Malone type thing. Actually, you know what? Mitchell's not Stockton, but you got Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. And then for Chicago, I guess you got Zach LaVine and who's Pippen? Not Lonzo. Huh?
Lonzo is actually a lot like Pippen. Great passer, elite defender. Okay. Chicago has a good roster because they got Vucevic people forget about.
Would you be excited to watch that? I would be excited to watch that. 100%. But because we like watching basketball. Like, I don't feel like casual is going to be like, you know, if LeBron is not there, if KD is not there. You know, last year it was Giannis. Last year it was Giannis and, like, Chris Paul and Booker and all that. And yet,
the rating, it was like
the 10th lowest rated championship of all time. So I don't know. I don't know what NBA fans like anymore. But I would love to see Bulls Jazz. That's what I'm going with, just to throw it out there, because I don't think anybody's the favorite in the East. So why not pick the Bulls?
Real quick, who's been super high on Zach LaVine since day one?
Michael Martinez.
You're an ass. This guy.
Yeah, tell him that you said Zach LaVine's the greatest dunker of all time.
Oh, Zach LaVine is 100% the greatest dunker of all time. 100%.
I don't even
Zach LaVine. So everyone's like, "Oh, Vince Carter." For his time, Vince Carter went between the legs from 7 feet out.
No. I don't even think Zach LaVine's the best dunker in the NBA right now. I think
Who's better?
I'm still going Gordon. I'm still going Aaron Gordon.
You can make a case for Gordon. The problem is Gordon and Zach LaVine are doing dunks that MJ and Vince could not do. Dr. J couldn't do. Wilkins couldn't do. Oh, Dallas defense just scored. They're doing these. There's kids in 8th grade that are dunking like MJ and Vince in the day.
Right. That is true. But again, I don't.
It's not creativity. It's science. LaVine went between the legs from the line. Jordan couldn't even jump from behind the line.
If Jordan and Carter don't do the dunks they did, is LaVine doing that now? Yes or no?
No, but that doesn't matter. If Pistol Pete didn't dribble behind the back,
they have the advantage to do that today. I'm not saying that they're not more athletic. You're right, 100%. More skilled, more athletic. No doubt about it. But what I'm saying is Vince Carter, back in his time, when Vince Carter was doing Vince Carter things, was more impressive than what LaVine's doing today, because you just said 8th graders are doing Zach LaVine dunks. No one was doing what Carter was doing.
8th graders are doing Jordan dunks. And Vince Carter.
They're also doing Zach LaVine stuff too. Like
they're not going between.
Look on TikTok and watch dudes go through the legs and turn around, and it's crazy. It's nuts.
That's Jordan Kilgannon, a professional dunker. That's not a kid. He's like 28.
I don't even know who that is. That's not who I'm saying is doing it.
That's the dude you're talking about, though.
There's a lot of dudes doing it.
So here's my thing. We can give them credit. Where do you rank Pistol Pete all time for ball handlers?
Pistol Pete Maravich? Jesus Christ. I can't, off the top, I can't throw, but towards the top, I put him towards the top.
Is he a better ball handler than Iverson?
No.
Tim Hardaway? No. He's not.
Hardaway. He's not. Tim Hardaway was that great. I know you do.
Ball handling. We're talking ball handling.
No, I know, but I don't. I'd go Pistol Pete.
No, you wouldn't.
I would too.
No, you wouldn't. He's not a better ball handler. He's not a better ball handler than Penny. He's not a better ball handler than Steve Francis, Stephon Marbury. Kyrie Irving is the best ball handler I've ever seen. Jamal Crawford, one of the best ever. Steph Curry, one of the best ever. Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. Every one of these point guards today is a better ball handler than Pete Maravich. Every single one.
But you didn't name 10 yet. Keep going.
Do you want me to keep? Yeah. Zach LaVine's a better ball handler, and he's not even a point guard anymore.
Zach LaVine's a better ball handler.
Go watch a Pistol Pete fucking highlight clip.
I've watched many because we've had this argument before.
He goes behind the back like my dad does at the gym.
but he went behind the back.
Okay.
I'm back in his again. Here's what I'm saying. You're not wrong that
for his era, he's the GOAT dribbler, 120%.
Okay, that's all. That's all you gotta say, and I agree. Then now you can.
But
talk
he's not
about
a better dribbler.
But it's by default. It's by default.
I can dribble better than Pistol Pete.
It's by default, though.
Okay, but then you can't say I'm wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's like saying that dudes today when they're working out and going to the gym and doing all this are better built than they were back in the day. If you look at the military today compared to the military back in the day, today's military looks and is a lot stronger because of the equipment and technology they have today versus what everyone had back then. I'm not going to take away what everyone did because guess what? It could be more impressive that they did it back then with less than what the guys are doing with today. No matter what we're talking about, it could be science, it could be medication, it could be whatever the case may be. So when we talk about the past, I will always leave the respect, and I will not come and say Jamal Crawford is better than like Pistol Pete, like you were saying, a better ball handler than Pistol Pete. It's not wrong, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because I'm gonna leave and give the respect to the guys that deserve it. And I also
you can give respect all you want, and I respect him too. Pistol Pete's one of my favorite of all time. He is one of the best college basketball players of all time. He averaged like 44 a game.
Right.
Like, it's nuts. But if we're talking strictly ball handling,
has any player what player in the last 20 years has averaged 44 points a game in college?
Nobody ever has that I'm aware of after Pete.
So here's the thing. If we're going to give credit to the guys today, right, for doing everything better than the guys back then, why is it that we're not going to say, like, why are we saying that, okay, you said Pistol Pete is the greatest college basketball player of all time. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he's second. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is first.
Okay, well, you're right. You're right about that. But I'm just saying, like, they get their due, too. They have their things, too, in terms of, like, we're only talking about a certain skill concept when you talk about Zach LaVine. Like, okay, he's a better dunker. Or this guy's a better ball handler, things like that. When you talk about players and how they played in their era compared to today, it's just not fair. I don't like doing it. You always
Pete's
what I'm saying
stats,
is you always do it. You're like, is Jamal Crawford a better ball handler than Pistol Pete? I don't like doing that, so I can't answer it properly because I don't want to.
But you know it's true.
But it's by default. It's not because I don't know if Pistol Pete and Jamal Crawford were playing at the same time, Pistol Pete would have been better because he was the best of his era already. You understand what I'm trying to say?
So if you put Pistol Pete in today's basketball,
the reason today's players are better is they've seen it all already. They know it. They've been practicing since they were 2 years old because their parents have seen it already. They're telling their kids, this is how you dribble. This is what you do. The other kids' parents didn't have the benefit of that to do that. So if you put Jamal Crawford, who did not see, all these dudes doing it in Rucker Park and shit and stuff like that, you put him in an old era where he didn't learn, and he learned the same thing Pistol Pete learned, he wouldn't be better than Pistol Pete. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
And I don't agree with it.
But how can you not agree with it? If you don't know what's going on, you can't be better at it. You can't do better.
Because my issue is when we do this, you're taking away from someone's game to even the playing field.
Okay, if we put Pistol Pete in today's era and he knows everything everybody else knows, you don't think he becomes better?
No, I don't think I think he's maybe a college player, maybe.
I can't agree with that. That's why I don't like doing
You think
this.
Bob Cousy would be good in the NBA today?
Huh?
You think Bob Cousy would be good in the NBA today? No, he'd be selling insurance down the street from
you. But why Bob Cousy?
Well, we're going back in time, right?
You can't just bring anybody. It's got to be someone.
Pistol Pete played like 10 years later than Bob Cousy.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play today? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so yes, I'm saying pick the players, pick the right players. Don't.
Kareem wouldn't be amazing today. He could play today. He wouldn't be amazing.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not? Is he stronger than the big men today?
He was a big, strong dude, man.
Compared to today's players, he's strong.
Who? You don't think he's stronger than Cat?
No.
I think he's stronger than Cat. Cat's a weakling.
Well, according to you, science and upgrades.
By default, it still doesn't mean that no
Cat is stronger than him.
Stronger or better.
Right now, Cat is stronger than Kareem as we knew him, right?
But we're bringing him into today's era, right?
So why does he lift weights today if he didn't back in the day?
I'm saying Kareem's
game wasn't based on strength. He was a skilled big man.
But
I think if you
a
put
lot of
I think
people's
if you
things
put
aren't based on
Kareem in
strength.
today's
Everyone does weight
NBA,
training now. Everyone, even the weakest dude is doing weight training. That dudes that were strong as hell weren't doing it back then. They were just naturally freaking strong.
I'll prove you wrong there. Kevin Durant is not doing weight training.
He's doing weight training. He's just not lifting weights. He's doing like he's lifting like
He's not doing skincare routines.
he's lifting churros. That's his weight regimen. He's lifting churros. Not
Dude's a
eating them either
beanpole.
because he's too damn skinny.
But my point is, 100% Kareem is one of the greatest players of all time. If you put him as is in today's NBA, he makes the NBA, but he's nothing special. But in his era,
also we can't.
Unstoppable.
Okay, so it's like I said, it's of the point of conversation that we're having. Neither of us are going to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll talk about it all day. I just don't want to sit here and say this could definitely happen or this could definitely not happen because I can't prove it. And I don't want to like down anyone that we're talking about for something that I don't know if I can prove or not. So if I'm saying Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could come in today's NBA and do very well, that's my true feeling because he was so good back then. You put him in today with with newer knowledge, newer strength training, newer rules, less defense. I think he would be pretty good today. Maybe not as good because, again, admittedly, there are good.
So he's going from a top 5 player all time to pretty good, you just said. That's my point. That's my point. He's going from...
But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
But you just said I'm right.
I'm just saying, don't tell me you just wouldn't even make the NBA. I'm not. That part I will never agree with. That to me is just not happening. It's not. It's not. You're gonna tell me that Pistol Pete couldn't play over Alex Caruso?
No.
See,
Alex Caruso.
That's where you lose me.
Alex Caruso has like a 35-inch vertical.
I just can't have this conversation. I can't.
Pistol Pete might make the NBA today. Might. Pistol Pete is a GOAT of his era. He was amazing. With today's players, with how athletic you want to know how you could tell her how I can prove to you today's players in today's NBA is a lot better than the 90s and the 80s.
Today's players are more skilled.
When we say if you put MJ in today's NBA, you say he gets today's training, he's going to shoot more, right?
No, I say Jordan as is. The way he shoots, the way he scores, he's scoring 35 to 40 points a game today. And I wouldn't, no hesitation. None.
He's not.
100% wrong.
You know why he dominated his...
Guarantee it. I'm a guarantee.
Tell me why he dominated. Tell me why he dominated his era.
For the same reason he would dominate today, because he shot the ball. He wasn't scared to shoot the ball. He played amazing defense, by the way. He would play great defense today, too.
He would foul out in today's NBA.
He would not foul out today's NBA.
Isn't today's NBA soft?
His whole defense wasn't just hand checking only. He could get in front of a bot.
He was a hand check specialist.
I didn't say he didn't. I said he wasn't just a hand check specialist.
No, he was a hand check specialist.
He was better defensively than that. He got in lanes just like today's NBA players do. Had a lot of steals as well. He could do that just the same way he did back in the day. And even though you guys said, oh, he told Pippen, I need you to play the toughest guy. Of course he's going to do that, like you said. Why wouldn't you do that? If you had a guy who played as good a defense as Scottie Pippen to play the toughest guy, of course he's going to do that. But in today's NBA, you don't have another Scottie Pippen, so Jordan would have
First of all, we didn't say that as a negative. It was smart of him. You let Pippen guard Magic so MJ, the better scorer, can focus on offense. That's a genius play. That's a smart move by MJ.
Is it true or not that today's NBA players, even like a decent bench guy, is scoring 15 to like 20 points a game?
No, not really.
Yes, it is true. A guy coming off the bench. You just said Alex Caruso is dropping like 12 to 15 points a game.
Okay, you just said 15 or more. Now it's 12 to 15.
12, 15, 18. There's a lot of what's Carmelo Anthony scoring off the bench?
Carmelo Anthony isn't an average bench player. An average bench player, you're talking Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn could score 30 points on any given night.
He's averaging like 8 a game.
But I'm saying he could score 30 points on any given night. He did it last year.
Okay, if I go back to the 2000s,
the point is, if a guy off the bench
Tony Delk scored 50
and the 14 points a game, to tell me that Michael Jordan wouldn't score 30 to 35 points a game this year is insane. It's insane.
So here's my thing. Michael Jordan was a freak athlete in his era. He was the most athletic player in that era by a mile.
Okay.
That's how he scored a lot of his points, because he burst past guys who couldn't keep up with him. Today, He's an athlete, but he's not anything special.
He
As an
blew
athlete.
past guys that were hand checking him. He blew past guys that were playing tougher defense, body on body, man to man on him. Today's NBA, when they're playing zone, you're going to tell me he can't just get in, stop. Instead of going to the layup, he was one of the best mid shooters of all. You're going to tell me he can't stop and pop on all these dudes that are trying to put defense on him and throw the ball up 20, 22 times a game and score 30, 35 points? There's no way.
No, because he's not blowing past guys that are just as fast and just as athletic.
Westbrook is shooting like 18 to 20 times a game, right? And I'm not saying anything bad about Russell Westbrook, but he's taking 18 to 20 shots a game. You give Jordan 18 to 20 shots a game in today's NBA, he's scoring 30 points. There's just no way he can't. There's no way.
30 is a lot different than 35 to 40.
I said 30 to 35.
You said 35 to 40.
Okay, let's not get technical here. 30 to 40. How about that? Anywhere between 30
That's
to 40.
That's a 10-point gap. That's a 10-point gap.
Can Michael Jordan score 30 to 40 points in the NBA today, a game?
No. He can score,
so
I
then
think,
why
30.
are you arguing with me about what I'm saying if you don't think he can even score 30?
Well, I was just going to say I think 30 could be his cap.
What was his career averages back in the day? About 30, right?
Like his actual career average, I think it's like 31.
So he can do it in today's NBA too, right?
No, he was scoring 31 as the best athlete by a mile in his era. Today, who's more athletic? Michael Jordan or
no
Russell
one has
Westbrook?
a career average of over 30 right now in the NBA. Does James Harden have that? Even though he was like the highest scoring guy, does Luka have that? Even in just 3 or 4 years?
No, because in today's NBA, everyone's more athletic.
But I'm saying if you're saying that the top for Jordan would be 30 points per game, let's say he got 30 points per game, that would still lead everybody today. 30 points per game would be the highest career average of anyone today.
I think Luka averaged 30 last year.
No, I mean for a career, like anyone playing today. If Jordan scored 30 points in his career today, let's say he started in 2010 and right now 2000.
I don't think he's scoring 30 games. I think that's his max. It's 30 for a season, not a career. Kevin Durant's the best scorer of all time. Kevin Durant is the best scorer of all time, and his career average is like 25. Is Michael Jordan a better scorer than Kevin Durant?
Don't ask me that, because I'm going to say yes.
But we know he's not.
I think Jordan's a top 2 scorer of all time.
That's fine. I think he's a top 5 scorer with no debate, top 5.
But Kevin Durant's not above him for me right now. Kevin Durant's like third or fourth for me. So
who would be above MJ on your scoring?
Do you really want to know?
Is it Kobe?
It's not Kobe. Kobe's 5th. Give guess. I want you to guess who my number 1 is.
Well, if it's not Kobe and if it's not KD,
it's someone that's playing today. We just mentioned him before.
James Harden?
I think James Harden is the best scorer of all because he can do it.
James Harden has the most ways to score. He's the most creative.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah, he's the most creative scorer.
I go Harden, MJ, Kevin Durant, and then Kobe. That's my 4.
So you don't even have Kareem as a top 5 scorer? You don't have Wilt as a top 5 scorer?
Okay, but Wilt scored in like 2 different ways.
Shaq
scored in one way. You were talking about like when I say that I'm talking about like how many ways they have to score plus scoring as well, not just like how much because I put Carmelo up there too. If I was just doing scoring, he has like the second most points of all time.
So where's
Steph
Curry?
If I was just going based on who the best scorers are in terms of them actually scoring, then I would do it different.
Where is Steph Curry in terms of all-time scorers for you?
He's top 10 already. Of course, he has to be top 10 already. But again, his is mainly the 3 ball. If we say what's Kevin Durant's main thing, it's like he does a lot of things very well. If we say what's James Harden's thing that he does very well, he does a lot of things very well. Talk about Kobe.
So you're a what's in your bag scorer guy.
Right. What's in your repertoire? Like, can you shoot a 3? Yes. This guy. Now, again, the thing is, though, Jordan was not one of the best. Jordan did not have a great 3 ball at all. That's another thing about Michael Jordan that I think would be better. If he was practicing his 3 ball today, I think he would get better because everything Michael Jordan tried to do better, he did better.
So you're going. So that was actually what we were talking about when we got off topic. So I said that and you said no. You said MJ would be a better 3-point shooter today and you said no, but he would be. That's what you're saying because he would get to work on it. So this is how today's basketball is better, and you're proving my point. You're giving Michael Jordan an extra skill. If we take today's guys, are you taking away skills to make it even? Would Curry be as good of a shooter in the 80s?
He would still like you. I'm not going to take
Would
away.
he be as good of a shooter as he is?
Yes, he would still be a great shooter. You can't take away his shooting, but you can take away the fact that they didn't have the mindset to shoot threes like that back then.
So he's not shooting. So you're
I
taking
don't
away
know.
from today's players and giving to yesterday's players.
Like, let's say, first of all, I don't not to do the racial thing, but you put a black dude back that far back and stuff like that, it's a different thing too. You know what I mean? There's a lot to put here when you put guys that far back. Than just
It's
like, okay, hey, we're
in
taking
the
Steph
90s.
back in the old era. Is he still the same guy? It's like, I'm not going to take away his shooting ability, but I'm going to take away the fact that they didn't do that. So I don't know if they would have let him. I don't know if he comes to practice and just starts jacking up threes because they didn't even know what the hell that was back then.
But so you're taking away from his game to make it even, and you're adding to older players' game to make it even.
But I'm not taking anything away.
You're taking away his frequency of shooting threes.
I'm telling you that's what I think would happen. I'm not taking away his ability to shoot. He's still Steph Curry.
No, you're taking away his tendencies, though. His tendencies are he is shooting the three 10 to 12 times a game. Curry is a great shooter, and a lot of that is because he shoots so much. So if you're saying that he's not shooting as much back then, you're 100% taking away his tendencies of shooting threes. Correct?
I'm not taking that away. That's just how it was.
So you have to take it away to even the playing field.
This is why I'm telling you we can't do that. This is my whole point. We can't do it because the game is so different. It's impossible.
And that's why I make sure to say, when you compare eras, you either shouldn't compare eras or you take players as they are. Because we know Clyde Drexler was all about getting to the rim. We know Jordan was a mid-range specialist, freak athlete. We know that. So if you take MJ and put him in today's game, you have to keep him as he is, or else you're assuming he gets better. You can't tell someone they're wrong for assuming he's worse. You know what I mean? You can't assume one way is right and the other is not. That's why I take players as they were. I'm not changing a thing.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I get that. Let's say that's fair, which I'm not saying you're completely wrong or anything like that. But let's take anything ever, right? And unfairly move it.
The future is going to be better.
Huh?
The future is going to be better.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's just not right to bring. If I'm going to bring someone from the past and bring them to the future, I have to. They get something. They get all the advantages that today's players have.
They get more money. That's all they need.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. They would. And that is another good point that you bring up about the money and things like that. Back then, those players were like, some of them had another job on the side. You know what I mean? Like, so they weren't getting like.
That was in the 2000s too, though.
Well, no. But Jordan sucked in the two. I mean, he scored 20 points a game.
No, I mean, in the 2000s, guys were working part-time jobs.
Right.
Ron Artest was working at, like, Blockbuster.
R.I.P. Blockbuster.
R.I.P. Blockbuster. I hope you don't have Blockbuster stocks.
Yeah. But, again, just to get back so we can talk some other sports real fast. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong, that today's players are more athletic and just better skilled than they were back then. There's no debate about that. I just don't want, and I don't think it's fair to take pioneers and great players of the past that did it before anyone else to tell me that if they were doing it the first of anyone, then I think knowing more now, seeing more now, and mixing it with the knowledge and everything that they did back then, they would not be scrubs. They would not make the NBA and things like that. That's just what I think. How good they would be, I don't know. It's like I said, it's impossible to say. The only players that I can say it about are just beasts that were beasts even back then, like a Jordan or a Wilt or a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or anyone like that. Those are guys that in any era they're going to be good. They're going to be good.
I don't think Wilt would be that great. I think a lot of his stuff is folklore. I went over this with you, and I'll quick say this here. So the rumor is Wilt Chamberlain had a 50-inch vertical. Wilt Chamberlain was 7'2", and his standing reach was like, what did we say? It was like 10 foot, basically.
But if he was 7'2" playing today, he would still
He has a 19% chance of making the NBA.
Right, just on height alone.
But would he be 100-point Wilt?
100 point? No one's gonna score 100 points.
Nobody scores 100 points. You know what I mean?
Nobody.
But so here's my thing. The folklore of older players is frustrating because you want to believe it because you grew up hearing it and you kind of built your basketball love around it.
Right.
If Wilt Chamberlain has a 50-inch vertical and his standing reach is 10 feet, that means his vertical leap, he's a foot and a half over the backboard with his hand.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
With MJ, they said his was 48. MJ's standing reach was 9'10". If you add 4 feet onto that, that means he can stand there in vertical leap and grab the top of the backboard. We saw him at full speed jumping, and he was probably touching the top of the square, the free throw, or it's all folklore. His 40 time where they said he ran, 4.22 or whatever, it was timed by his college coach. The other people who were timing it,
he's not faster than John Wall. And John Wall was like 4.3 or something like that, right?
John Wall was like 4.23.
Right, and they said Jordan was 4.2. So I don't think he's faster than John Wall.
No. And the people who actually timed MJ, they had him at like 4.38, which is still lightning fast.
Yeah.
They just have, they have to build a legend. Westbrook's 40 time was like 4.22. Like, MJ's not as fast as Westbrook. You can tell that by watching the games.
Right. No, he's not. He's fast. He's just, the guys today are quicker. A lot of the guys today are quicker, for sure.
Right. And that's just science. It's human evolution. So, the folklore I don't like it at all. I used to love it as a kid, but now that I hear it, I'm like, fuck, that's stupid.
Well, it's like knowing about Santa Claus and stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, I loved it when I was a kid. Now when I'm an adult, like, why? Why is that a thing?
Let me make sure my kids aren't around.
Santa's right here.
So, but we talked NBA quite a bit now. I know you're not a big college basketball guy. Do you have a Final Four? Like, you've watched a little bit this year, I think you said.
I'm gonna assume that this is what's gonna happen. I'm just going to pick the one seed going into the tournament because that's probably all I know right now. Like, Gonzaga is going to get a 1. Duke is going to get a 1. On the other side, let me see, man. I've been hearing about, first of all, how good is Michigan this year? Because I heard they're bad. And
they're struggling. They were a preseason top 10 team. Yeah. They're struggling.
Yeah. So, that would be one of my – because we saw them last year in the tournament, and I thought they had a shot to, They made the Elite 8, right? I don't know if they made the Final 4.
They made the Elite 8.
Yeah, I know that much.
They lost to, who was it? They lost to UCLA.
Oh, Mobley, right?
No, UCLA. Johnny Juzang.
Oh, right. They were. I remember watching that game. Michigan's fans were triggered at that dude. But I mean, listen. You guys have said this, and before the season started, I was on this boat. I was told about Syracuse again, like I always am. Again, that's my team. I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm such a diehard Syracuse fan. I watch every single game. I don't because, again, me with college is like, I'm more of a bandwagon college fan. When March Madness rolls around, like 2 or 3 weeks before that is when I start really getting into it. And then I got Scotty here who can tell me whatever the hell I want to know. So I don't even need to watch. He'll just tell me. But, again, Syracuse's zone defense, like everyone knows, is something that once team
tourney time comes, people can't figure it out. It drives me nuts.
And they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country, correct?
Yep. Free throws too. They're a team that you can't get behind.
They have a lot going for them. And if they're on the other side that doesn't have to, I don't know which side they would be on. Like when you're doing the bracket or whatever, and you
that's all supposedly random.
Okay, so hopefully if they're on the other side, Gonzaga and Duke, I'm gonna put them in the Final Four.
Okay.
And then my last one. How's Hardaway's team going right now?
Memphis?
Yeah.
They're good. Amani Bates is a beast. Jalen Duren is a beast.
Would it be
They're
crazy to put
young.
before?
They're
Or?
young is the thing. I'm not gonna tell you mine yet. I'm gonna let you give yours.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a fourth right now. Like I said, I'm kind of a noob. But like I said, I'm going based on knowing the fact everyone's gonna pick Duke and Gonzaga. That was just a gimme. And then I'm gonna go, like I said. By the way, I think Ohio State's a pretty good team. I'm not gonna put them in the Final Four, but if Ohio State won up there, I wouldn't be shocked. They're a pretty good team. That, like you said, they were playing pretty meh, right? But they were projected pretty high, right? They were ranked before the
Yeah,
season, just like
Liddell's
Michigan.
a beast. EJ
Yeah,
Liddell's a
so
beast.
I'm gonna go Ohio State. I'm gonna go Syracuse, Ohio State, Gonzaga, and Duke. That'll be my Final Four.
Okay, so mine, I've been telling you for like the last year, Purdue.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't pick them, because I knew you were gonna pick them. You'd be like, "You're just picking them because I picked it." I'd be like, "Yep," because you told me about them.
Purdue is special this year. Travion Williams is like Zach Randolph with Draymond Green's skill set. He's nasty. Jaden Ivey is basically Donovan Mitchell. And then they got Edie. He's like 7'3". If you have a 7-footer in college basketball and you have a good team, you've got a great chance to make a run. So I'm going to take Purdue. I'm going to take Gonzaga. Chet Holmgren is a beast. Drew Timmy's a beast. I don't have Duke going to the Final Four. Just we've seen them struggle in the tournament lately at making the Final Four.
Hey, is Coach K's job on the line?
Well, I mean, he's retiring, so
It's on the line.
I guess. So yeah, we got Purdue.
Hold on, before
Gonzaga.
we go again, there's an inside joke there. I'm not an idiot. I know about that Coach Case. Obviously, this is just an inside thing that I said like 2 or 3 years ago. They lost to like Florida International. I don't remember what they lost to.
No, they were playing against Taco Fall in the second round.
Yeah.
And you said Chris Canty on ESPN Radio said Coach K's job was on the line.
I said it was on the Canty show. I didn't say Canty said it. I said it was on the Canty show, and you messaged Canty. He was like, "Didn't say that, player." Whatever he said. I don't remember what he said.
I was like, "There's zero chance Coach K's job is on the
line."
But
ever since that day, Duke has won nothing. So
I tweeted Chris Canty, and he answered me right away. I was just like, "Hey, my buddy said that you said Coach K's job was on the line," and he replies right away. He was like, "That wasn't me, playa."
Yeah.
It was great. It was really funny. Like, it was good. But so I've got Gonzaga, Purdue. I'm going to take Kansas making a run this year. I really like Agbaji.
It was like too cliche. Kansas, Kentucky. Everyone picks them like all the time, so I didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Agbaji's a beast. They got Remy Martin from Arizona State who transferred over. He's a beast also. My last team, this is where it gets tough because Duke's good enough to make it, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
I just don't like them in the tournament anymore until they prove they can make that run.
Right.
I'm going to go UCLA, which is also very cliche. Johnny Juzang, he can have a run again. They're good. And if it's not UCLA, give me Bama. Alabama's got a nice squad this year. They've got
Charles
some
Barkley
guard.
will be excited.
What?
Charles Barkley will be excited.
He's an Auburn guy.
Oh, he's out there. He's always. I hear him always talking about Alabama every single like 2 seconds, like hating on them or maybe giving them. I don't know. Maybe because he's an Auburn guy, he respects them now. Like from the rivalry. But I do hear him talking about Alabama a lot.
But yeah, so I'll do that. I'll go. Actually, give me Bama over UCLA. So I'll go Bama, Gonzaga, Purdue, and Kansas.
But like I tell you guys, I am not. When you're listening to this, I don't know anything really about college basketball. I'm learning. I'm trying. I bought the sports package when the Knicks were drafting and they were like really bad. I was watching Duke a lot because I knew RJ or Zion were going to be Knicks, so I was watching a lot. I was watching the Big Ten Network, the ACC Network. I was trying to learn. It's just like, for whatever reason, I think because I went to first a community college, and then I went to a four-year college after that. That wasn't very big, at least, a CUNY New York college. It just wasn't that big of a thing. You know what I mean? Basketball has always been huge in New York. I'm telling you, basketball is New York's #1 sport. Always has been. But college just wasn't big. So I'm not too big into college sports. So when I talk college sports and you're like, this dude sounds like a moron, it's because I am when it comes to college sports. So if you're listening to this and you're like one of these college dudes that are diehard college sports, don't yell at me. But if you want to yell at me, comment it and let me know I'm an idiot below and get us some, some traction, to be honest.
Fair enough.
But okay, so now we've talked NFL picks, NBA, college hoops. Let's talk a little baseball. And there's not much baseball to talk because the league just shut down. For those that don't really understand what's going on here with the lockdown, the owners are responsible for this, not the players. This is an owner's thing. A lot of players for years have been saying that it is not right that they're getting $500K in their best years. Like when Mike Trout came up and Vlad Jr. almost won an MVP and he's getting less than like Matt Harvey did. You know what I mean? And he pitched like 2 games. And it's true and things like that. But the owner shut this league down to get this lockdown was needed. This is something that's needed for baseball because these two sides need to get together. They need to drill into each other and say, hey, we want this. How do we fix this? Whatever. So no one should be mad at anyone right now until this drags into July or something like that, which I don't think it will. But if it does, that's when you can start getting mad because then you're going to get things thrown out there like players rejected this, owners rejected this. As of right now, this needed to happen. Let's see if they can settle things and get things done. And then we can start being pissed off at others. But right now, there's no need to be pissed at anyone. This had to happen. Let's see what happens, and then we can talk crap after that. Outside of the lockout, though, a lot of moves were happening because they knew a pending lockout was coming out. So many moves happened. You got the Texas Rangers who were just buying all of a sudden, which a lot of people are stunned and shocked. Like, why would you go get Seager? Why would you go get, Marcus Semien? You go get what's going on here? I'll explain a little bit as to why I think they're doing it. They just got a brand new stadium that last year they were filling a lot because it was a new stadium. It was right after COVID when they just we allow fans back now. As soon as fans heard, they were allowed to come back, they came back in full force. And Texas was the first stadium to allow full capacity, and they sold out immediately when they did that. So they know they have the fans there. Texas went on a rampage of like 5 or 6 years where they were winning the AL West. They were going to the World Series. They were choking. But nonetheless, they were getting there. Texas is not that far removed from being a good team. So now that they have this new stadium and all this money they've been not using in the past couple of years, they're doing it now. They're trying to compete. This is what kind of the lockout's about. They're saying teams like that have been sucking for so long are not competing because they can pay these players minimum wage. Like if Mike Trout came up for a team today, he can play for 5 years on a minimum, and that team knows that and doesn't have to go get anybody else because they have good players for the minimum price for a little market. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on right now. But shout out to Texas for going for it. I think they should. I don't think there should be any baseball fan out there like, why would you do that? You shouldn't do that. They're trying to compete. Let them compete. You know what I mean? Don't tell them not to. Let them do it. You had the Mets going out and get Max Scherzer, going out and get Marte, going out and get Mark Canha, going out and get Eduardo. Like, it sucks
They
that
got
even the Tigers going out and get Javi Baez, which is like they haven't done much in the recent years either. And they went out and got a leader, got someone that can, talk with the Latin players on the team and just like be the leader, stuff like that. A lot of teams made a lot of good moves. Is there anything that stuck out with you?
Seattle got Ray, and they got Frazier.
Adam Frazier, they traded for him. Yep.
Yep. Your boy Stroman going to the Cubs. That's a big one. So I like Trevor Story. I hope he doesn't go to Seattle. I really hope he doesn't go to Seattle.
I think he's going to the Yankees if we're picking. And
Correa, I do too, and I don't want him to go to the Yankees either. I've been trying to keep up on Twitter with reports and rumors and stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw the Braves could be in on Story. And I don't know if there's any truth to it. Could you imagine them adding him though?
I think if they get Story, they don't get Freeman though.
I heard Freeman is going to be a Dodger.
I've heard they're going to probably go after him as well. There's a lot of teams in our. I think he winds up with the Braves, but the Dodgers would be the other team if the Braves did not go again, which would be crazy. I think Correa either winds up back in Houston.
Fuck the Dodgers.
You think Correa to the Dodgers? I don't. They would have.
No, I said fuck the Dodgers.
Oh yeah,
Correa.
No,
the Yankees will get Correa or Story. They'll get one of them.
They have to, because their owner said, like, I was listening right after the season. I was on my way to work. I had ESPN New York on. Cashman came on, and they were like, what's your plans for the offseason? He said the name shortstop 7 times in a row. He said shortstop, 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 shortstop. And what didn't they get yet while everyone else was getting shortstops? Shortstop. So they got to go get Story correct, because if they don't get one of those 2 big names, they're going to wind up with like Alderton Simmons, which isn't a terrible move, but it's a terrible move if you preach you were going to get a big
Yankee.
shortstop. You know what I'm saying? And they're the Yankees. They can't take this little shortcut crap, because the Mets used to do that and get killed for it. And you're the Yankees and you're doing it. You're going to get killed 10 times harder.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hopefully a lot ends. There's not much really else to say about baseball, because there's nothing that's really happened outside of that. But you want to talk a little tiny bit of hockey? I know neither of us are the biggest on hockey, but my New York Rangers are beasting right now. The Capitals, of course, as always, are doing well. Carolina's doing well. Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay. This is what I'm going to say right now, because there's not much hockey we can really talk, because we don't follow it that much, just a little bit. I'm going to say that in 5 years' time, Connor McDavid is going to be right below Wayne Gretzky as the greatest hockey player of all time. In 5 years' time, he's going to smash the points total by the time his career is over. He will beat Gretzky. He will.
The total points?
He will.
No.
Look it up. Look it up.
No way.
He's averaging more than Gretzky did. He is.
That's fine, but Gretzky did it forever.
Connor McDavid, I'm telling you, man.
Maybe like goals. Gretzky has like 1,000 more assists than anyone has goals.
You're right, 100%. But Mario Lemieux could have caught up to, if he didn't, get sick. He definitely would have been I think Connor McDavid's on a better pace than he was.
Wayne Gretzky. I don't want to sound like a Jordan fan. Wayne Gretzky.
No, Wayne Gretzky is the undoubted GOAT of hockey. Like, matter of fact, of all sports, and you say who's the GOAT of this sport, you're gonna say Wayne Gretzky. Nobody, really.
Right.
Wayne
Gretzky. I don't see.
If Connor McDavid plays like 10 more years, which is he's still very young, he can beat Wayne Gretzky's points total. 100%.
I don't see anyone having.
I'm gonna look it up for you right now. Keep going.
I don't see anyone having the longevity of dominance like that. I think Ovechkin's on pace to pass him in goals. Isn't that right? Or he might have already passed him. No, but he's still.
Ovechkin could be the leading goal scorer of all time for sure. He's there.
And how far is he behind Gretzky in points? And Ovechkin's been dominant for years.
Yeah, but Connor McDavid's a points guy as well, just like Gretzky was. He's on both sides. He's both sides of the puck. Trust me. Hold on. I'm going to see right
Wayne Gretzky's point record is like Ricky Henderson's steal record.
All right. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I'm just saying, as a bold take, in the next 5 years, Connor McDavid is going to be right on that pace. And it's not going to – I just say he's not going to break it in 5 years, but it's going to be right on that pace. If he plays the same amount of years as Gretzky played, he will break it. Again,
yeah, but he's got to play the same amount at the same level.
It's kind of like what we were just talking about, putting NBA players into the now, whatever like that. Connor McDavid has, like, today they're scoring way more goals today. You know what I mean? Like, it's just way high. When we were watching hockey back in like 1995, 1999, it was like 2-1, 1-0 every single night. Now it's like 4-3, 5-4. You know what I mean?
They're scoring more goals, but nobody's coming close to Gretzky still.
I'm going to tell you right now. Hold on a second. So 2857 is Wayne Gretzky's total points all time, right?
Okay.
Connor McDavid, in a short time, Alex Ovechkin right now is about halfway. So he's not going to do it. Crosby, definitely not. Let's look up Connor McDavid real fast, just so I can tell you what I was talking about.
What's that?
I said I'm looking up Connor McDavid right now, just so I can tell you like what the pace I was talking about. Okay, so in 5 years, he's got 614 points. 5 years. You do 614 and you times that by playing, he'd beat him. He plays 12 more years, he beats him at this pace.
Is he going to keep that pace?
He'll keep. He's.
Is he going to keep that pace?
He could, LeBron James has kept the pace for all this year. Connor McDavid is the LeBron James of hockey. He really is. Trust me when I tell you, he really is. There's no one better.
Has he had any injuries in his career?
No.
So will he have any injuries?
I don't know. That's the part that can never be told. I'm not saying, listen, Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player of all time. All I'm saying is at the pace. I'm just going by the pace. And the fact that Connor McDavid is a freaking animal. Like, to me, Connor McDavid is probably the best hockey player I've ever seen play. He just is. That's just what he is. When you watch, you buy a ticket to a hockey game to watch Connor McDavid play, no matter what fan you're a fan of. You go to watch the kid play. The kid is unbelievable. And now his team is actually getting better. Like, before, he was just not even making the playoffs. Now his team's making the playoffs. He's going to be into the spotlight more. They're going to push him a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying rig. I'm saying they're going to push a little more. He's on that pace, man. He's on that pace.
He might be on the pace, but he's not going to keep pace.
We'll see.
Do you think Luka Doncic will be the all-time NBA scorer when he's done?
Yes. We just talked about this. I think he will be.
I don't think he will be.
The way the NBA is going right now, we're going to see 200 to 180 games in 10 years.
Well, the scoring's down this year.
Because of the foul crap.
Right.
Watch when the playoffs roll around. What's going to happen, though?
Playoff scoring does. So your playoff stats don't add into your.
No, I know. I'm just saying in general. Just a general thing where it's like, watch when the playoffs start. You'll see the scoring go back up magically.
Also, something you have to consider now, too, is Luka's sitting out one game every other week.
Right. A lot of guys are punks today and just like, I got to take a little break. Dudes back then weren't taking. That's another thing. I don't think Michael Jordan retires the way he did if he knew he could take 20 games off a year like the guys are doing today.
We know why Michael Jordan retired.
Oh, listen. There was a lot on his play, okay? His dad died. He just won the Olympics. He was coming over. He's had a lot going on, man. There was a lot going on.
He was a gambling addict.
There's a lot going on. I'm just saying. So if you gave Jordan like 2 days off, would he take it though? Honestly, maybe later on he would have taken it, but early on
he wouldn't have a choice. These guys don't want to sit out. It's the training staffs.
No, there's a lot of dudes that want to sit out. I'm not
there's
saying
a lot of dudes who want to play every night and they won't let him.
Kawhi wants to sit out a lot.
Kawhi does. Kevin Durant came out today and said he wants to play 40 plus.
KD wants to play,
but they won't let him.
Yeah. Like, I agree with KD. I'll agree with KD. But there's a lot of players that love this day off crap.
Russell Westbrook does not want to sit out.
No, because why? Why does Russell Westbrook not want to sit out? What's his mindset? Old school. That's why. Russell Westbrook is an old school player. You know that.
He's a hard worker.
Old school. That's what that means. Old school means you're a grind to the gears guy. Never want to take a day off.
KD's not an old school guy.
Huh?
KD's not an old school guy.
Yeah, but I'm not saying everyone has to be old school to want not to play every day. I'm just saying Westbrook is that guy for sure. Westbrook is an old school minded guy.
Damian Lillard does not want to take days off.
Who doesn't?
Damian Lillard.
No, you're right.
Donovan Mitchell does not want to take games off.
You're right.
Jason Tatum does not want to take games off.
Might want to take some on right now. I don't know what's going on.
He's been playing hot. He's been hot lately, actually. But what I'm saying is, a lot of these dudes don't want to take games off. It's the team is making them to, like, would you rather your guy play 82 games in the season and then miss 3 games in the playoffs, or have him play 65 games in the season and play the full playoffs?
But again, you're right. But that's what I'm saying. This is what the advantage of being a player today is compared to being a player back then. They played 82 games every single year. Dr. J played every single day, which I was hearing him on the ESPN radio, and I talk about, if I missed 4 games and only played 78 games, I was looked at like I was a chump because I missed 4 games. These guys didn't have that benefit. Now they would have the benefit. They would be stronger. They would have more days off.
They would have less stats.
And they would be able to create super teams better than they were. I'm not saying there was no super teams back then. We know Lakers and Celtics.
They created super teams back then, first of all. because the Bulls did not draft Pippen. They did not draft Harper. They did not draft Rodman. They created a super team. People forget Ron Harper was a 25-5 guy for the Clippers. Ron Harper deserves more credit. I'm going to give you this. Ron Harper took a huge sacrifice. He was a 25-5 guy playing elite defense for the Clippers. He comes over to the Bulls and drops down to like 8 points a game because he sacrificed. Pippen sacrificed money. Harper sacrificed stats.
Okay.
It's an amazing drop off from him going from the Clippers to Chicago. And that's the kind of guy you want on your team.
Could you imagine? Forget everything else. Could you imagine Jordan and now it probably wouldn't work out as well as we would want it to, but just imagine like Jordan and Kobe on the same team, Jordan and LeBron on the same team. Like there would be nothing better, right? Than seeing
Jordan and Kobe wouldn't work out.
That's what I said. It probably wouldn't work out as great as we want it to work out. But just the thought of it is just unreal to think that. Like just imagine if Jordan had like a and again, yes, he got Pippen and Rodman or whatever, but just imagine today he's like, you know what? I want to win a championship every single year. He would, and he can just go get whoever the hell he wants to go get. Like that's also today's NBA landscape. And it's not only that, players can force their way out to do that. Harden did it out of Houston. You know, if players don't want to be where they are right now, Zaya's doing it right now and he's fucking 20 years old and he's doing it. Like, it's just the landscape of the league. I don't like the way the landscape is right now. I think the basketball has been better this year. Like I said, the foul calls, with people just being stupid, but they're still manipulating that. They'll still call it once in a while when it affects the result. Not that I'm saying they want this to happen. It's just like, if it can get you some late free throws or something like that and it can make the game close, just for viewing purposes, not rig purposes or whatever, just, you know what I mean? Like for an entertainment aspect of it, they still manipulate it a little bit. But I do think basketball, we've seen more defense this year, finally. We've seen more like a little less three-pointers, not much less, but a little bit less three-pointers. We're seeing a little bit more ball movement. We're seeing a little bit more down low guys. I like the direction it's going now. You know what I mean? But when the playoffs start, like you said, we're going to see the same old crap. We know we're going to see the same old crap because that's what wins in today's NBA. You know what I mean?
And one thing that's gone and it'll never come back is the mid-range jumper.
Oh, no, never. You'll never have Richard Hamilton again or something like that.
Chris Bosh.
Yeah, you'll never have anything like that again. Even like a KG was a great mid-range shooter. KG was one of the best. But not to go back on the NBA talk because we were kind of talking about hockey or whatever. But this is what I will say about one last thing about the NBA because we didn't have much to say about hockey anyway. And I forgot what the hell I was gonna say. I had something on the pace of play or something like that. Nope, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. We were talking about 3-pointers or something like that, and I just completely forgot what I was gonna say after that. But yeah. So I'm pretty much done though with NHL talk. And is there any other sport you want to talk? Want to talk a little boxing before we go, or Jake Paul?
Jake Paul's the best boxer I've ever seen.
Yikes! I don't stand that. But I will say this:
he's a genius.
You got to give the kid his credit. You have to give the kid his credit. He's done more for boxing than anyone has since Mayweather Pacquiao. He's done more for boxing than anyone has since Golden Boy Promotions and De La Hoya was fighting every week. He just
people know Jake Paul more than they know Canelo. That's sad.
So props to him. He is fighting Fury coming up. Me and Mitch will probably do a little. We'll probably have you on. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we are going to do a little special, maybe from the page, doing just some fight talk, or maybe like during the fight. We don't show the fight, but we can literally sit here like this while the fight is happening and talk if we wanted to. So I don't know if we're gonna do that or not, but it's a possibility. There's a lot of things we're gonna be doing, so stick around for that. But yeah, I don't have much of anything else to say really.
I got a top 5 question for you.
Okay.
Been a while.
It has been.
Give me your top 5, and not like the best 5. Your 5 favorite NBA role players in NBA history. The guys that weren't the guy, but you were like, "Fuck, I love that guy."
We talked about one earlier, Jamal Crawford. He was on the Knicks doing it as a sixth man. He was an animal. Jamal Crawford was my first 100%. I don't know if see that's the thing, man. You go first. I got to think about it a little bit because role players is tough. Because
Number one for me.
And a thing like if it has to be guys from the back then NBA. It can't be guys from today because today guys are getting 30 minutes off the bench. You know what I mean? So like,
number one for me is Shannon Brown.
Okay, he dunked.
So exciting. He's an Illinois guy. You know, he went to Michigan State. Shannon Brown was actually a big part of those Lakers championship teams.
He was.
He was a great role player. Number two for me, I'm going to go Leandro Barbosa. How fun was he to watch in Phoenix?
I remember him and Roger Bell. Remember they had that fight against the Spurs?
Yeah, when what's his face threw Steve Nash Steve Nash into the table, and then Stoudemire got benched. Yeah, that was shit. So I'm gonna go with him. Let me think here. See, I don't have him off the top of my head either because I got to think about it now.
Novak
so I got Shannon Brown.
Steve Novak would come in and just pop threes and then do the WWE belt. I love Steve Novak off the bench for the Knicks. Good role player. Great. Scored a lot of points just popping threes. If you put Steve Novak on a roster today, I think he scores probably like 14, 15 points a game just in threes. Like he could pop them.
See, and I've got a role player for today too. Duncan Robinson. I love him.
He's got such a quick release. It's beautiful.
He's got a wet jumper. So that's three there. I'm gonna go Philly roots here, and I'm gonna go Raja Bell back in the day.
Raja Bell. I like Raja Bell for sure.
He got in Kobe's face, like he wanted to fight everyone. And then my last one, I'm gonna go Tim Thomas.
Tim Thomas was a good starter though. Tim Thomas could.
He was a role. Basically, in my opinion, if you're not a star player, you're a role player.
Okay.
So Tim Thomas.
So mine's David Lee then. David Lee's definitely one of mine too.
He was an all-star once. He can't be a role player.
We're the rules here. Tim Thomas was kind of an all-star type player too. He scored like 17 points a game a couple years.
He wasn't an all. David Lee was a fucking.
Okay, but an all-star is a fan vote. An all-star is a fan vote though. Like that doesn't.
But he averaged like 20 and 10 a game.
David Lee?
Yeah. No, for like one season, he averaged like 20 and 10 a game or something, or 18 and 9.
That sounds more like he definitely never averaged 20 points a game. I know that much. But okay, and we take him away from me, which sucks because that was my boy. I don't know, man.
I got one that I know you loved.
Who?
Gerald Green.
Gerald Green. Yeah, Gerald Green, man. Gerald. You know what's funny? I used to use him a lot in what was it? NBA
2K.
2K, not live.
He
was good in 2K. There was a short. Okay, so this is more of a video game thing, and I used to watch him play live just because of it. He was a short dude that used to play for the Sonics. Earl Watson, maybe.
Earl Boykins.
Huh?
Earl Boykins.
Earl Boykins. There we go. Earl Boykins.
He was good on the Nuggets and the Bucks, too.
The Bucks. He was great. No, he wasn't great on the Bucks, but I loved watching him. He was on my fantasy team on the Bucks. I know that much. We consider Rafer Alston a role player.
Yeah, for sure.
Skip to my Lou. Dude, Skip. Again, his handles were insane, but he couldn't finish to save his life. But he was a great
street ball player.
Yeah. But I still loved watching him play. So that'll be my. What about Mike Dunleavy? I love Mike Dunleavy. I can tell you about Mike Dunleavy.
He's a role player. Fun. I just looked something up on him. Like his first game in the NBA, I think he shot like 0 for 9 or something like that. I don't think he scored. And then his next game, he had like 22 points. Like that's a nice turnaround off of one game.
I watched all the night games with like Golden State. Golden State had like, I think Baron Davis and Dunleavy and Jason Richardson and the tall white.
Andres Biedrins.
That's the white dude right there. So yeah, they had some players that I used to love watching for sure on that team. And I know current Golden State Warriors fans be like, "Who dat?" You know, you on the wagon with
current Curry. Golden State would be like, "What do you mean Gilbert Arenas was a Warrior?"
Yeah. Baron Davis was a Clipper, man.
Baron Davis was a Hornet, if you're going to talk about it. That's what we know.
I remember him more Clippers for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, he was good on the Hornets.
He was. But I don't have a fact of the day. And I had, it's funny. I was looking at stuff. This was like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, damn, that's a good fact that nobody knows about. And I forgot it. So I need to come prepared next time we do this. This was kind of like again, we're one of the most unscripted podcasts you'll do. We literally just talk. You know what I mean? I had to look up Conor McDavid stuff and stuff like that. Like, we say things because we don't Google what we want to say. We say it because we're fans of the sport and we watch it. And I'm not saying that other podcasts don't do that, but that's what you'll get different here than listening to like a Colin Cowherd podcast or something like that. We are two dudes that watch sports for a living, basically. We just don't get paid for it yet. And
I've got a fact of the day for you.
Go ahead.
And I want you to try and guess this.
Okay.
Who is the only player? What's that?
I said that wouldn't be a fact. That's a question.
No, I know the answer. I know the fact.
Oh, okay.
Who is the only player to get a technical foul during the McDonald's All-American game?
Man, that sounds like a Rasheed Wallace thing if I ever heard
Rasheed Wallace.
Of course it is. He just like he said ball don't lie and got a technical. Remember in the Knicks game?
Yeah.
Technical foul. Like, what? I just said ball don't lie, which is true.
Someone got fouled and he was like, "Fuck no, it wasn't a foul." They went to the free throw line, he missed, and he just ball don't lie, ball don't lie.
Yeah.
That's where that term started.
Man, one of my favorites.
But yeah, so there's your fact.
All right. Anything else you want to say or?
No. Once again, thank you to Josh Powell. Thank you to Kellen Dunham. And then, shout out again to 19.9 Shorts. I can't get enough of these. I'm going to buy so much. So, shout out to you guys. Thanks for having us on. Or I don't know why I said that. I'm stupid, but, it's been a while. So, thank you guys for watching.
Okay. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. There'll probably be a couple of other guys with us next time we do it to try to get them more involved and things like that. So look forward to that. And take care. Let us know if you enjoyed this, if you liked the long podcast, because a lot of you were asking about it. Here it is. This is for you. I'm pointing directly at you because you know who you are. So take care. We'll see you guys in the next one.